Get out of it, go on. Are you only just setting off, Curly?
Yeah, and the Vicar staff gang's depleted with sickness, so I said I'd do an hour with them.
Extra bins, Curly, for what?
For time and a half.
But you've got to set your sights higher, mate. I mean, you've got to develop an executive outlook on life. You and your cheese butty mentality, you're holding us back.
You're just jealous because I could hold down 2 jobs.
No, I'm worried that you're putting too few eggs into too many blinking bin liners.
I'm pulling me weight.
Aye, 8 stone 3, wet through. I mean, I thought that the idea of starting cheap and cheerful was so that you could kick the bins into touch.
But I'm not like you, Terry. I'm a slow developer. I can't be caterpillar one day, butterfly the next. I've got to change gradual, bit by bit.
But what about us, eh? What about going for the jackpot? I mean, to get on in life, you've got to go for it. I mean, look at him. Oi, you two get a move on.
Pervert.
I mean, he doesn't stand around procrastinating, him.
He certainly doesn't, the snake.
He takes a plunge. Both feet in at the deep end.
Moral cripple.
Hey, I mean, he's got a jag, fancy flat, young bird. That's who you want to be modelling yourself on.
Him? I hate him with every ounce of my whole being. He's ruined my life.
You're not still going on about that, are you?
He's the personification of everything that's wrong with this country.
Morning, lad. All right, Mr. Baldwin.
Get lost, you lousy, leching creep.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I've ever had a curry sober. I think of it more as an internal sauna after I've had a skinful.
Ooh, bestial oblivion, that's you, isn't it?
Flattery will get you everywhere, Glow. There you go, Alf. Eggs, bacon, bangers, tomatoes and oven chips. The executive brekker.
Watching your figure, are you?
Too busy watching yours, darling.
3:30 to you.
Hey, hang on a minute, Glow. Let's walk you down the street. Come on, Alf.
What, and you with your executive brekker? I don't think I'm up to it. So, you don't fancy Bolton Road then, Alf?
No, the houses are too big, love.
Hiya, mate. What can we do for you?
Oh, nothing apparently.
You what?
I came here to offer you a week's work, but,
But what? That's fantastic.
well, you better argue about that with your partner.
Argue?
Yeah, he's just told me to stick it. See ya.
See ya. You did what, Curly?
Look, Terry, I can explain. It was
You
just...
better, mate. Because my van needs a new radiator and there's nought in the kitty. So start talking, big mouth, and you better make it good, because otherwise you are a dead man.
It's a matter of principle, though, Terry.
Yeah, you've got the principles, I've got an engine full of corroded parts.
But it's principle. Why can't you be sympathetic?
I am being sympathetic, which is why I'm listening instead of fisting you. I mean, what is Susan Barlow to you, eh? When has she ever given you a second look?
Because Baldwin was in there first, wasn't he? With his aftershave and his jag and his careful combing. I was working on her slowly.
You live in a dream, Curly.
Well, so what? So what if I do? So do you. It's still feelings, though, Terry. I can't sleep for thinking that he's forcing her and she's unwilling, or he's blackmailing her, or he's keeping her a prisoner in that flat.
You have been watching too much late-night telly.
Those things happen all the time, Terry. And whatever you say, he seduced that girl. Now, do we, cheap and cheerful, want anything to do with a man like that?
Curly, we want to be men like that.
Well, you may, but I certainly don't.
But we want to get the business moving, don't we? And we've got to work at it, right? And most people able to offer us work are going to be corrupt somehow. I mean, anybody going up nowadays, Curly, is going up on the back of somebody else.
I know, I can work it all out philosophically. But I can't lie to me heart, Terry.
God, you know, you sound like something out of a song by Wham.
I find his conduct disgusting.
You are just jealous, mate.
Just jealous. It's the most terrible feeling imaginable.
Look, I am gonna drop you in a minute. You've got to forget it, right? You can't come in here and alienate one of the best sources of our work. You could have put a kibosh on the whole flaming thing. Big Mouth Baldwin could have us blacked just like that.
Well, that's all a fella needs, innit? When he's heartbroken, roughed up by his best mate.
Oh, God.
Where are you going?
I was gonna put the kettle on. All right. You win. I've got my Marge Proop set on now. Look. Dear dejected Coronation Street. She's a typical 80s young woman. She doesn't bat an eyelid at lads her own age. I mean, what can they give her, eh? A load of moaning, lost skin, unemployed kids. Naff all, mate. So she goes with the first successful-looking bloke she sees. I mean, I admit it is laughable. But even Baldwin better watch out, because there's a lot bigger fish in the gourd than him, mate. And a bird like Susan Barlow, she's easy prey.
Oh, shut up, Terry.
Look, what's the matter now? You have got to concentrate on being that bigger fish.
You sound just like Baldwin. Treating people as other merchandise so you can buy and sell them.
Where are you going?
I'm going at the Rovers for a pint. Here's some money. Fix a van.
But what about the Parsons removal?
Do it yourself. Look, I'm sorry.
I coped. You're looking at a man who's just hooked a piano and a van on his own.
I'm sorry.
A piano, Curl. I had to lift it on its end, then drop it in the back on one lot of casters, and push and pull on me Todd. And then there was a wardrobe, a brass bedstead, an old sideboard. Yeah, and then I had to unload it all at the other end, mate.
Yeah, well, I'm extremely sorry, Terry.
Yeah, well, look. I'm sorry too. For threatening to bash your head in. I mean, I sympathise, Curl. I mean, I felt the same way over Andrea, but I was a bit more involved with her.
Yeah, granted.
With a baby on the way and all that. Nevertheless, love is a many splendid thing, as my dad says. But honestly, the only remedy for this sort of thing, it's work. To hoist yourself out of the dumps, you've got to do it with hard graft, mate.
And that's just what I intend to do.
Good. Because like I said, Curly, I coped. On my own. And that doubles my earnings, mate. And I never was into helping lame dogs.
I'm not a lame dog, Terry.
We'll start proving it, eh?